Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 544.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
I have a confession to make, and I know that you're going to be super supportive when I share this. And I think that for a lot of you, you're going to understand because maybe you struggle with this too. So I'm coming clean. But I had an $800,000 revenue launch, and I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't tell anyone about it because I felt like a knob. I felt like if I did share about it, I'm gloating, I'm showing off. I also felt really bad for people that don't make revenue even close to that. You know, it would take them 10 years to make revenue like that. And, you know, I live in Indonesia at the moment. People wouldn't make that in a lifetime. So I just felt like such an idiot sharing that number. I've got family and friends that, you know, still struggle, and I think about those people, and I know that I need to think about the people that I'm here to serve in business. I know that achieving things like that is actually really helpful to people that are wanting to do the same and wanting to learn and study that. I know that I am here to teach back my mistakes. I'm also here to teach back my wins. And so I am a bit regretful of not sharing that at the time, but I also am really happy that I'm sharing it with you now. My clients, some of my clients and mentees who do work with me in a closer capacity knew about that. And so I guess I was selective over where I shared it. And I'm sharing this with you because I'm willing to bet that if it's not income and revenue and things like that, because not every business that markets on the internet even needs to share that information, I don't even have to share that information. And when I do choose to share it, it is always from a place of wanting to teach something back. And it's not just from a place of me celebrating myself. I have my celebrations. Don't you worry. I have my celebrations, and I encourage all of my students and mentees, and have done over the past 10, 11 years, to also celebrate, to even go into a launch already planning how are you going to celebrate. And I just love hearing the plans that you ladies have. But anyway, this is me sharing that at the time that happened, which is a couple of years ago now, that I did not share that. And this is me sharing it now. And I'm sharing it because this adds a lot of context to today's episode. I wanted to talk to you about launches, and in particular, why you see people, including myself, growing a waitlist as part of their launch strategy, in particular as part of their pre-launch runway. And I wanted to share that story about the 800K launch with you because that happened because of a waitlist-only launch, meaning I did not have a live launch event. I didn't have a webinar or a masterclass. I didn't have a challenge. I didn't even go gangbusters on Instagram about it. I didn't post endless yapping videos. It was purely through cultivating a very curated waitlist of right fit individuals with, it always comes down to messaging, with $1 million message that, you know, made people want to put their name down on this list. So, as you know, I have got hundreds and hundreds of mentees at the moment across different containers. And a lot of you ladies are starting to embrace the power of a live launch and also of a waitlist only launch, which is really cool. And I am so here to support and be your champion. And if it means that I need to get a little bit vulnerable and share some of my wins, why do I struggle with that? Um, then, this is the time because it's really relevant to share that with you all. And I want to help you learn from the things that I did that worked really, really well, including some of the things that have not grown my waitlist in the past. Like, I'm going to be going through some key mistakes that I am seeing women doing from this community and also like in the broader like internet land. When I see people launching and, they're talking about their wait list is now open, like there are some critical mistakes that people are making, some of which I have done in my earliest years as well. And so I wanted just to shed some light on all of that and to save people from making this mistake ongoing. So this might be an episode that I send people to on the regular because I feel like this is must know information. Because your wait list is not a feature. It is an actual offer. That's the first change. The first epiphany that you get to have is that your wait list is an offer in and of itself. So if you are building any kind of online business course, membership, mastermind, retreat, even an in-person event, whatever it is, if you want to have your best results, if you want to sell out, then you need a wait list. I think by now you must be living under a rock if you have not seen someone on the internet talk about a wait list or getting on the early bird list or whatever they're calling it, okay? We do not just need a wait list just before your first launch. No. You need to keep growing your waitlist in between every single launch that follows that. That part is not up for debate anymore, okay? So that is the minimum standard. We have waitlists, not just for the first launch, but for every other launch that follows that of the same offer. We're always growing a waitlist. Most people building serious digital businesses already know that a waitlist matters. And if you're one of the few who is already growing one, then genuinely well done. You are ahead of the majority of people because this is a critical step that people either miss or they're just executing it at elementary level. I'm being very polite with my words, aren't I? A rookie level, a beginner level, it is what it is. But here's where I see so many brilliant women get it wrong. And it's not the fact that they have a wait list, but it's how they're positioning it. So the mistake that almost everyone makes when they're starting out with this sort of digital offer and launch model is that it looks something like this. Maybe you send an email to your list already. Maybe in most cases, people are jumping on Instagram and they're saying, my waitlist is now open. Get on it so that you can be the first to know when my whatever launches, your course, your membership, your mastermind. And it sounds fine. It sounds like what everyone else is doing. And that is exactly the problem. That sentence is entirely about you. It is about your launch. It is about your timeline. It is about your product. There's no promise in it for the person that is viewing this content or reading the content. And believe it or not, your audience is not lying awake at night wondering how they can get first access to being sold to. No one joins a line just to be first in line to be pitched. And that is exactly what you are positioning in front of them when you get on and you record a video saying, my waitlist is now open, whether that's in stories or reels or however you're doing it. A waitlist that only benefits you as the business owner is never really going to grow in the way that you need it to grow. So as with all things digital business, there is always a lot of strategy and method behind the madness. And most people who do not get a coach, who do not spend the time required to actually study these things and then get feedback on them from someone that is experienced and wise and has done the things, they just go out there and they put that out there because they see other people doing it and they think that they have, executed this well. I know that the only reason that I've achieved what I've achieved in my business with real time limitations of growing babies, birthing babies, breastfeeding through the night on demand for 6 years, all the things that I've, gone through in life and then had this business, I know that a lot of it comes down to my own diligence. My own diligence and consistent, conscientiousness of actually studying and learning and paying to learn at an advanced level. So I'm not just learning from social media and podcasts or even, now going on and using AI to ask my questions. It's like, if you're not well studied, you don't even know if the output that you're getting is correct or if it's as good as it can be. You're just going to be so easily impressed with whatever it churns out because you're not operating from a place of actually being informed. So that's something that I worry about for people. And the truth is, we're all getting older. We do not have time to waste. Yet so many people are not very protective of the time that they do have. They are valuing maybe the cost of learning things or the time spent to actually study something and execute and then optimize. They're just wanting to skip the process of being a beginner and then feeling entitled to results that they never actually worked for. And I say all of this with love because actually learning how to launch is a skill. And you need to be very discerning over where you are going to actually learn that skill. How many launches does that individual have under their belt? How many people have they helped launch? How many launches have they done themselves? What's the biggest launch that they've been a part of? How many launch styles has someone tried? There's just a lot to it. Okay, anyway, I am digressing. Let's bring it back. I want you to write this down. A waitlist is an offer. Maybe even underline it. A waitlist is an offer. It is not an announcement. That is fundamental learning right there. It is not an announcement, but yet that's what people are doing. And so it's okay if you've done that in the past. I've done that in the past. And then I got a mentor. I studied. I learned. And, I don't do that anymore. So once you know this, now that era is dead, all right? The waitlist thing, it is not just you making an announcement. And it's the shift that I really want you to take away from this episode. Stop thinking of your waitlist as a holding pen where the interested people gather until you send them the cart link. No. Start thinking of it as its own offer, as its own experience, one that needs its own promise and its own positioning in the same way that your actual program does. That means, before you ever record a video or post about it, you need to answer one question honestly, which is, what does someone actually get by joining your list before they've paid you a single dollar? So we all know that if we want to grow our email lists, we need to give people an incentive to do so. That is more often than not in the form of some kind of freebie, whether it's a quiz or a diagnostic tool or, a free lesson or whatever it might be. There's usually some kind of freebie. But your wait list is an email list growth strategy that is really linked to your offer that you are wanting to launch, your paid offer, but there still needs to be a reason for that individual to want to get on the wait list and essentially give you permission to sell to them. So the question is, what does someone actually get by joining this list? And if your honest answer is, oh, well, they get notified when it's open, then that is not an offer. That is them literally getting a notification. like a notification setting is now turned on. The waitlist strategies that I have used to have my biggest, most successful launches, and, the ones that I've created, like whole waitlist strategies for my most successful mentees, it always solves a real problem for the person that is joining the list. Because that's why you and I are in business. We're in business to serve and to make a difference and to solve problems. That is it. So if our waitlist invitation is more about us and not really about them, you can expect minimal people joining the waitlist and also minimal conversions from anyone who does join that list. So I wanted to share with you, what are some incentives or reasons why someone would actually want to join an email list that turns it from a wait list into an offer. So the first one is early access, so that they're not competing for a spot once the doors do open for everyone. And this is brilliant for those of you that run programs where the numbers are capped. And that was the case for my biggest launch, the 800K launch. That's exactly what it was. There were very limited places in that program. Okay, the next reason why someone would join is maybe you're going to offer them waitlist only pricing. So there is a genuine financial reason that someone would want to commit early. So consider that. Okay, it doesn't have to be that, but it can be. The next one is some kind of value add in the form of a bonus experience. Now, this could be anything from a bonus call with you. It could be a VIP dinner, either with you or with the group. Please engage your own imagination and creativity into this so that you're not just rocking up with another cookie cutter online program that just looks like everybody else's. Be creative. One of my mentees is putting together something and it's called bedtime stories. And it's just so cool. I've included speed dating things inside of my programs, where the women, meet together and, we kind of move them around online. This is online as well. Anyway, it's incredible. So please just engage your imagination and creativity. It could be that you offer a smaller group session before the program officially begins. And, then you need to flesh out, why is that a big deal? What are you doing on that call? All of those sorts of things. Or maybe there's a check-in call a month after your program ends, or support via Voxer, or I don't know, honestly, I can tell you my list is long when it comes to deliverables and things that we can position as bonuses. I've literally done this for 11 years. I cannot tell you how many launches I have done, my own personal self, how many I have studied and consulted on when I think about my high-level peers, my high-level mentors, when I think about my clients, the launches that I've supported them in building out, the strategy pieces, people that even teach launching. I teach those people. So I have a lot of insight into what works. Okay. Now, you could also give people access to a resource library or an advanced training with an outside expert that they wouldn't normally get access to. It could be a free course. Honestly, it could be so much. Now, none of these need to be so extravagant, but what they do need to be is true, because trust with your audience is everything, and you need to follow through on what you are promising. They do need to be built with your specific audience in mind, because I said this earlier. I've said this in so many podcast episodes. I will continue to say it, but you are only in business to solve problems for your people, not to fill a spreadsheet with email addresses. All right. So the waitlist built well before your first launch does something a cold audience never can. It tells you who is actually leaning in. So I even give my general email list an opportunity to join my waitlist. And that tells me how interested they are in the actual offer or in the problem that they really want to be solved, the problem that my offer solves. So it's like creating the warmest segment of your audience. It tells you who is curious enough to raise their hand before there's even anything to buy. And it's not just marketing and cool to be growing a wait list. It's information even on like validating the offer before you've even gone and like fully built it out. This could be a way for you to validate. It gives you such solid data because from that waitlist growth, you have an amazing opportunity to even shape your messaging, your pricing, your bonuses, long before you even start writing your sales page for your offer, the paid offer, or before you start writing your launch emails. And I am willing to bet that a very small fraction of people, 1% of people, are actually doing this. They are creating their offer first. They are creating their launch emails and their sales page, and their waitlist is a bit of an afterthought. What I'm telling you is that you can start with the waitlist and start, again, that's like starting with the audience and then planning the entire launch from there. And I know that that sounds really crazy, but I am a highly strategic, crazy gal. And when you do this and when you do this really well, you are now like you've got a list of people in front of you that you can contact and you can write to and you can share things as you build them out in the launch, and they're going to write back. And that is going to give you all of those extra pieces. So information about how you should price it or what the people really need. Your job is to create an offer that your people need. So getting people on a wait list is a great way to get that conversation going. And once you've launched the offer, your wait list does not get to sleep. It doesn't get to rest, okay? This is the part that most people miss, because growing your wait list in between your launches is something that you want to do, because it means that next time you go to open your doors, you're not starting from zero. You're speaking to a room that is already warm, already invested. So the second that my launches close, they get redirected. Anyone that goes to that sales page link, they get redirected to a waitlist page straight away. Okay, so I'm always generating interest in the waitlist, in the form of the waitlist. What this actually requires of you, though, is it's significant, okay? Because none of this works if it's just going to be a one-off Instagram story that you post the week before your cart is open. It's not going to work. It's part of a strategic, long pre-launch runway. A waitlist offer needs the same promotional energy of any other offer in your business. And you may not have the capacity and bandwidth to do that initially because, you know, the rest of the launch and creating the offer and then creating, you know, your live launch and your other launch assets like that is going to take a lot of time and energy and money and bandwidth to do those pieces. So I understand. So you need to choose, are you going to be like, no, I'm going to really put my biggest effort in a waitlist promotion and build everything from that? Or are you going to be the person that prioritizes the other phases of a launch, which is that real, you know, launch event, cart open, you know, sending emails, getting on social media, hoping that people join, but really you've neglected to warm the room first. So what I'm trying to say is your launch will often be determined by the amount of promotional energy and effort and knowledge and skill that you have around waitlist periods. So depending on what your knowledge, skill, energy, all of that is for the waitlist offer, you can expect to see that in terms of the output and the results that you experience. So ideally, you want to be sharing your waitlist promotion across your entire content ecosystem, not just once, not just on Instagram, but consistently in different formats over an extended period of time with a clear start date for when people can join that and a clear end date for when that list closes. So it's actually structured. It's clearly communicated so that people understand exactly what they are opting into and also when that window closes. And you're going to have proper promotion around the waitlist phase. I just want to leave you with this, okay? The businesses that grow the fastest are not the ones with the absolute loudest launches. And I know this from personal experience. And it's actually really nice. It's really nice to have a launch that isn't super loud, but my gosh, to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to 800,000 in a single launch from a launch that was quiet and peaceful and just targeted and speaking to a specific group of people, it feels really good. And I'm really proud of that. And I would love for you to experience that also, because you don't have to feel so energetically drained every single time. So the people that are having those types of launches or growing the fastest, they're the ones who never stopped building the room. You know, they never stopped building that wait list. And if you've been treating your waitlist as a bit of an afterthought, or maybe you didn't quite realize the importance of it, this is your invitation to be diligent and learn about it, grow a waitlist, get feedback on the waitlist offer, that waitlist page. Think about what happens once that person is on the waitlist. Like, then what? Come and be coached. I would absolutely love to support more of you in growing a freedom-filled business, which means helping you create your first or next online offer and giving you my complete launch system so that you can start and continue to grow strong and look after yourself in the process, because what we want is a business that works around your life and, you know, prioritizes your health, your fitness, your relationships, all of those beautiful things. If that is you, then Freedom Filled Business is the place. There are 2 levels. There is Freedom Filled Business Mentorship, and there is the Freedom Filled Business Mastermind, which is capped at 20 women. The mastermind level is capped at 20 women, and Freedom Filled Business is there for those of you that want to jump in at any time. Okay, so the mastermind is not open at all times, but Freedom Filled Business is, and absolutely you can transfer from Freedom Filled Business into the Freedom Filled Mastermind when that time comes as well. I have a lot of people that ask that, so that you're not just, you know, buying your time or twiddling your thumbs, but you're being supported. And the mastermind opens at the end of October as well. So let me send you to a waitlist page. Doesn't that make sense? You can go to freedomfilledmastermind.com to learn more information about the mastermind and to join the waitlist for our 2027 kickoff. We begin in January, but applications actually open at the end of October, and it is for 20 women only. It goes for 12 months. It is a true high-level luxury mastermind experience for established female coaches, digital educators, and membership owners who want to go faster with more support in a highly curated room with higher level access to myself, to my team, and also each other on exclusive bougie retreats. And yeah, you can go and check it out now and add your name to that wait list so that we can begin the conversation with you. And if you're wanting to join Freedom Filled Business, you can go to freedomfilledbusiness.com. You're also welcome to email me at any time just to have a conversation to see, you know, what is the right fit for you. Some people need to, as part of their process, just, you know, share more with me about their business, their current business model, any pivots. You know, I'm so happy to have those conversations as well. So you can email me hello@mumswithhustle.com. All right, that's it, my friends. I hope this episode served you well. I'm so keen to hear your feedback on this, and let's keep launching smarter, not harder. Take care.